We're going to look at a file here named Winter Ford. You'll notice that the 2019, which was the year, 0326, which was the date, March 26th, the time shows 18:08:58, which would actually be 19:08:58 because I did not change the time on the camera for daylight savings time. File number 185. I dropped my vehicle off to Winter Ford for two relatively major issues to myself. When I bought the car, I bought it with the purpose of having a new car that was nice. Whenever the car gets cold, the steering wheel squeaks very loud. Okay, the first squeak that you hear is going to be at 50 degrees Fahrenheit in the morning. My car's parked outside, so the ambient temperature draws down the temperature inside the car as well. You'll notice that it squeaks at 50. Let's go ahead and take a look at what it sounds like whenever it's at 30 with the camera placed in this same spot. So slightly louder, right? It is very frustrating and annoying to hear. The other issue is whenever the car is cold, if you apply the throttle gently, then the car jolts forward very hard, and forward or reverse. Doesn't matter which gear you put it in, it still does it. I've tried setting it to first gear, I've tried putting it in sport mode, I've tried doing the reverse and just gently backing out of a spot, and no matter what I do, it does it. I reported this to Winter Ford in January 7th, whenever I dropped my car off for service the first time, and told them about this. They told me that they would have to have it early in the morning to replicate it. I tried setting multiple appointments, and each time I tried setting them, they would cancel the appointment, stating there was some reason they couldn't work on the car. Not me canceling, them canceling. So I finally got another appointment set up. A couple of weeks back, I set it up for March 27th, 8:30 in the morning. If we look here, we can see the January 7th service. I was supposed to get my car dropped off, oil changed and everything, and then get the tires rotated. I noted at that time that the tires had not been rotated and that one of the valve stems was missing, and it was in the same spot missing whenever I got my car back. You'll notice that Wednesday would have been March 27th at 8:02 in the morning. That is when my vehicle was checked in. You'll notice that I mentioned the valve cap was missing. Of course, whenever I pick my car up, valve cap's still missing. The very next day I asked if I can get an update on my vehicle because I'd still heard nothing back. So let's go take a look at the videos and what they did. So again, we're back on March 26th, video 185. You can see that my car sits overnight. Whenever you see the light, right there you can see whenever the car was started for the very first time. Camera automatically turns on as soon as the power button in the car is pressed. So we can see that March 27th at 2:25 on the time, which would actually be 3:25, video 207 starts. Notice there's no gap between 206 and 207. It goes from 7:11 to 14:25 on the times for the camera itself. Remember, they're an hour off. So they did not check my vehicle in at 8 o'clock. They checked it in at 3:25. They stated that it had been checked in at 8 o'clock. Whenever I called, they said that they weren't able to reproduce the problem, so they're going to keep it one more night. Now, I want to note that I'm going to play this video 207. that from video 207 to 208, the technician drove my car directly into the stall. So we're at 208. Time is 14:28 on the clock for the camera itself. We'll stick to the camera time. So 14:28. Keep that in mind. That way that whenever we scroll all the way down here, my car sat in the exact same spot, which you can see from the thumbnails on the left, until 7:18, which would be 8:20 in the morning. The vehicle has sat overnight in a climate-controlled facility, and then finally started at 8:20 the very next morning. So let's go ahead and take a look at that video. All right, so we notice that the technician pulls out of the garage and goes towards the body shop. Loops back to the right, takes a left towards the body shop. Starts going down a straightaway where he says, oh, because he just heard the clock spring or whatever it is in the steering wheel make noise. Take note of that. Let's watch it again.
Oh.
Okay, so now that we see, he goes around the corner, parks at the stop sign. One thing to note, on the 28th of March, the ambient temperature outside was 30 degrees. Notice that when he parked my car, all the cars around him had frost on them. So that would have been a perfect time to find the issue. Instead, my car was left in a climate-controlled facility overnight. Better for, avoiding theft or anything, but it completely negates the issue. So now my car is parked. We can see the time on the camera was 7:18, 8:20 a.m. technically. Then we go to 7:21. My car is already parked in the parking lot. So let's go ahead and look at all the thumbnails where the car is parked in the parking lot. We'll go down from video 265 where it shows parked at 8:36 in the morning. So 9:36, it's still sitting in the same spot until 13:30, which would be 2:30 in the afternoon the next day. Video 266, 250, or 265, 266. They pull it into the bay and the technician walks away. He comes back and starts yelling at another technician that's working on this pickup truck. Now, let's go ahead, we'll skip video 267 and go straight to 268. Because in 267 he just mentions steering wheel. That's all you can hear. So video 268 is where it gets very interesting. You notice that Technician 1 allows Technician 2 to get into my car. He states that I wrote a story. And I want you to listen to what he says. Just listen very closely.
Next page, a little handwritten. Keep going. Story. Was told to use the customer card, and there was no customer cards. It's okay. When vehicle is cold, steering wheel squeaks when turning left or right, and then again as it passes the center. This is a big problem here, isn't it? On cold starts, if the throttle is gently applied, the engine axis, if the throttle is applied and releasing rapidly, causing the car to jolt forward. I didn't get any of that. The engine acts if the I can't write. Throttle is applied and releasing rapidly, causing it to jolt forward. What the fuck does that mean? You tap the gas and the car goes forward. Sounds normal. Yeah, we're not going to find anything wrong with this one. What about this? How about this other noise? Is this cold too? I had to drive like a few circles around the fucking parking lot. I heard it. It sounded like something right here, like just a little, and it's windows up. Like clock spring or something. It's hard to fucking hear, but it did it once. It did it once? Twice, going around here, but that was it. So it's not that loud. You can't hear it sitting still over the... Is it still doing it like now that it warmed up, or you only got it to do it once, and it really wasn't that cold out, right? It wasn't that cold out, and I left it in the shop last night, and it was when I pulled it out. Oh, let me go drive it. I don't fucking know. Hope that don't work. Shit. Rip that shit off of there.
Okay, we're back. Did you hear that? He acknowledges that he heard the squeak. He acknowledges that it could be the clock spring, which is what I was told back in January. He acknowledges that he knows there's a problem. The older technician drives it. He stops and goes a couple of times. You can go from video 268 to 269. You can see that he drove the car for a grand total of 5 minutes. 5 minutes from the file numbers 268, 269, and 270 is the entire time he's driving it. There was less than 10 minutes of diagnostics done on my vehicle over a 48-hour period while it was at Winter Ford. And they came back and said, sorry, we can't reproduce it. If they can't reproduce it, why in video 268 does technician 1 clearly say, I was able to hear it even though it was quiet, and then he admits that he parked my car inside overnight? He also says that he took the car around the block a couple of times, talking about the parking lot. He did not. He drove it in one small loop and parked it and left it there for an entire day. So I want Winter Ford to take action. I want these individuals to be dealt with appropriately. I don't want talking and chitter chatter about this situation. This is absurd. My car needs a warranty fix, and I expect Winter Ford to take my vehicle back and deal with it appropriately. But at this time, I wanted others to see what was going on and what Winter Ford is doing. They're obviously lying. They obviously do not care about the customer. This is my experience, and I wanted to share it with you. Thank you.